Good morning, everyone. This is Don. Welcome back to my science garage. Don't worry, it's the science garage again this week. No more math garage for now. And today we're going to be doing something that I like to call soap boats. So we're going to have to build a boat. Well, we don't really have to build it. I'll show you how to do it. It's pretty easy. And we're going to need some soap, and we're going to need some water in a bowl. We're going to need a toothpick. Your boat is just going to be made out of cardboard. The thicker the cardboard, the better. You can see in the picture there, the white stuff on the right side there, right about there in that picture, is some cardboard. I'll show it to you. I bought a Frisbee for my dog, one of those kind of squishy Frisbees, and it came in this kind of sort of thick cardboard packaging. It's the kind of stuff that is say like no less thick than a cereal box. That's what you want. And try not to do corrugated cardboard because it will soak up the water, and that is also not what we want. Paper might work. I haven't experimented with paper. It might work. It's worth a try. But anyway, nice, thick, preferably shiny cardboard is what we're going to need. If you're just tuning in, what we're doing today is we're going to make soap boats. What does that mean? It means tiny little cardboard boats that are driven by the power of soap, sort of. I'll get to that, okay? So here's the supplies, right? And here's what our boat is going to look like. It's kind of like a house shape with a little notch cut in the bottom, and I'll show you how to do that. Now, when I was making that one yesterday, it took like 4 tries to get the point just the way I like it. So hopefully it won't take that many tries this time. What I'm going to do is just going to cut out a rectangle like that. And then I'm going to cut the point in the top and hope that it is more or less symmetrical. There we go. Hold on, let me get these pieces of cardboard off my keyboard. Okay, so there's the start of our boat. And then we need to cut a little notch in the bottom. So I'm going to go this way. And then I'm going to go that way. Actually, I'm going to go a little deeper this way. A little more that way. And I'm going to fold that notch up. Fold it up, and that's going to allow me to snip it right off. There we go. New boat. Okay. So, once again, if you are just tuning in, we are going to make boats out of cardboard that are driven by soap. You know what? I want to make that notch a little bit bigger. Give me 1 second. Come on. Come on. Okay. All right. So our boat is finished. Wait, no, it's not. I want to make it a little skiddier. I'm sorry. I'm just being a perfectionist. There we go. There. It's a little more boat shaped now, don't you think? Okay. A little more boat shaped, a little less house shaped. All right. So what I've got here on the table on my workbench is a bowl full of water. Of course, the water is to float the boat in. I'm not going to do that quite yet because, eventually it will get waterlogged and sunk. I want to show you the rest of the stuff we're going to use. I have a little bowl. You may not need a little bowl, but I just like to use this to put my soap in. So I'm just going to you don't need a lot. We're just going to gather some on the tip of a toothpick. That's all we really need to drive our boat. So you see, I just put a little bit, a couple of drops, because why waste the soap if you don't have to? And where's my toothpick? Where did it go? I had it right here. There it is, on the other side of the bowl. There we go, and a toothpick. Now, we have our soap, we have our bowl full of water, we have our boat. Let's put our boat on our little bowl ocean. Let me see, I gotta arrange the camera angle here so you can see it. Perils of working with a laptop camera. Let's see if we can get it high up. Down there. without the laptop turning off. Okay. All right. Can you see me? Sort of. You can see my chin. Okay. Tiny bit more. Oh, now you can see the bottom of the laptop. Hold on. All right. Maybe if I hold this up. No, I need both hands to do it. Okay. So, boat, notch in the bottom. Ooh, there we go. Going onto our little bowl ocean. And it's floating. And the reason it floats, well, part of the reason it floats, part of it is that it's slightly buoyant, just like any other boat. It's less dense than the water around it, so the water pushes up on it harder than the boat's pushing down. Part of the reason that that happens with a flat surface like this is because water has something called surface tension. Take this out before it sinks. Just wanted to show you that it was going to float. Believe it or not, the top of a body of water is actually kind of like a skin. Okay, that's what surface tension is. It holds the top of the body of water together. And if you want a quick and dirty experiment to see this in action, take any coin, take a little eyedropper, and take some water and put drops of water on top of that coin. You'll actually, if you're careful, be able to fill so many drops on top of the coin that the surface tension, that skin around the edge of the water where the water meets the air, will bubble up and maybe even poke out around the edges of the coin before it finally breaks and then the water floods everywhere. That's why, like, a drop of water is a little mound on top of a surface instead of just flat water everywhere. It's that surface tension. Now, surface tension on the surface of water is not solid, right? It's still liquid, but it's ever so slightly more solid than the water underneath it. And it's due to a property of water molecules called cohesion. Water molecules tend to stick together. And that's something that my 12th grade biology teacher, Mrs. Chapman, would be very proud that I remember, because she drilled that into our heads. Water molecules stick together. It's called cohesion. And water molecules stick to other things like us. It's called adhesion. So cohesion of water molecules allows them to create surface tension, which is like a little bit of a skin on the water where the water meets the air, and a nice, flat, light boat does not break that surface tension. It's slightly buoyant, and it floats. Okay, now here's where we get to the fun stuff. Right now, it's just floating. And if we want it to move, if you had a real boat, you'd have some sort of engine or a sail or something, right? Well, this is a soap boat. So I'm just going to get a little bit. I'm just going to dip the tip of my toothpick in here. You can use a Q-tip too if you don't have a toothpick. Just something to put some soap on. And then right there in the notch, touch the soap in the notch, and boom. Let's do it again. Boom. Now you'll notice I'm not pushing it forward. I'm just tapping the soap into our notch. I have another one, the one I made yesterday. No, there we go. It did not sink. I'm going to tap it in there, and boom. Oh, that was a really good one. The more soap you manage to get in the notch, the longer it's going to move. No, don't sink. No! Oh, what a world, what a world. Oh, my new boat sank. It's okay, the old one's still working. Come on, there we go. Uh-oh. Let's see. Now, this won't work forever, okay? And I'll explain why in a moment. There it is. It's not working. Try one last time. Yeah, there we go. Okay, we've exhausted our ability for this to work. Just like any fuel, eventually the soap stops working and sometimes your cardboard boat sinks. So why it stops working is directly tied to why it ever works in the first place. Now remember, surface tension is like a skin on the water. The very top layer of water is ever so slightly more solid than the water underneath it. Soap weakens surface tension because soap molecules like to stick to water molecules, and the water molecules are attracted to the soap molecules instead of to each other. That cohesion breaks down a little bit, and we end up with an area of low surface tension just behind the boat where you put the soap. Now, here's the thing about surface tension. The water, the surface tension of the water is exerting a force on your boat when it's floating there. But the force is equal from all sides. So it doesn't really matter, right? Because it's equal, it's not pushing it or pulling it in any one direction. But if you introduce an area of low surface tension right there in the back of the boat, suddenly the force is stronger up here where there's still normal surface tension than it is back here where the soap is attracting the water molecules, breaking the cohesion and lowering the surface tension, which means that the surface tension force on this side pulls the boat forward a little bit, out of frame, pulls it forward a little bit. So the soap isn't really the fuel. That's just what I said because it sounds cool. It's not a soap-powered boat. It's actually a surface tension-powered boat using the soap as what we call a surfactant to weaken the surface tension in one area so that the boat can be pulled to another area. Now, once again, sometimes your cardboard boats sink. We saw it happen. And if that happens, just grab your cardboard and make another boat. As long as you have cardboard, you got plenty of boats. Now, let me get to why this doesn't work, because I almost just forgot the perils of live internet television. Eventually, you've got enough soap mixed in with the surface of the water that all of the surface tension on the whole top of the water is weaker than it was before. And when it's all weak, and it's the same weakness the soap makes it, you can't make it any less strong by adding more soap. So suddenly you try to add more soap and the boat doesn't go like we saw. The boat doesn't go. Why? Because the surface area or the surface tension of the whole body of water is exactly the same as what you're trying to change it to already. So there's not going to be any difference. There's nothing to move the boat forward. You're not going to imbalance the forces like we would before. When that happens, simple fix. Dump out your bowl. Get fresh water, try again. And you can also try varying the shape and size of the notch in the back. You can do just like a straight little channel, maybe cut a circle, just make sure it's open to the bottom. That's important. A little bit open to the bottom so you have a place for the soap to kind of out the back. And you can try different sizes and different shapes. You just want to make sure they're generally boat-like. And, you can try something weird like, putting a big old drop of soap in the notch before you even put it in the water and see how long that lasts. You can turn this into a really neat experiment to see how to engineer your boats to get the maximum speed or the maximum distance, whatever you want to do. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you get any cool results from your soap boats that you make at home, please feel free to share them with us with hashtag TCM at home. We would love to see any pictures or videos of your at-home soap boat experiments. Thank you very much for joining me here in the Science Garage. Once again, my name is Don, and I will see you next time.